Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Wall, and I am the Director of Parenting Services across the state, which gives me the privilege of making sure that we have funding and all the resources available to staff to be able to provide great, comprehensive, caring services to those families out there that need us. I started in the field of mental health. My background is a therapist, and I got to provide services to teenagers and working with their families. And now that I'm a mother of teenagers, I realize now, even back, before back then, that being a parent is hard. That drove me to not only move forward in my career in regards to continuing to care for those that are struggling with depression and anxiety and things of that sort, but also to then really gravitate towards helping families, helping parents be the best parents that they can be. It's really eye-opening and rewarding to see that just even the most basic natural thing of joining arms with a family, with a parent, and just saying, it's okay. Like, I've even experienced that. So they're not feeling alone as they go against some of these just basic struggles that they have as a parent. Well, obviously I can give you like the 4 categories, and then I would love to break them down. So like parenting education is one of them. And what does that mean? Does that mean they come in to circle up in a group and learn about stuff? No, absolutely not. What we do is one-on-one parenting. We talk with parents, we get to know them, and they kind of share what their struggles are. And one of those might be, I'm a first-time parent. They might say to you, my daughter like throws herself down in the middle of the aisle 5 at the grocery store, and I don't know what to do. It's embarrassing to me as a parent that my child's throwing a tantrum and I don't know what to do. So we, the workers provide them education, like, hey, what you're experiencing is normal. And here are some strategies to help you the next time it happens. Heck, we can even go with them to the grocery store. And when it happens, we can be there to coach that mom through that process if that's what they want to have happen. But we also have case management. So as you can imagine, as a parent, we have a lot of other things that we have to take care of, such as like a household, right? Being able to pay our bills, being able to provide groceries. And so sometimes we struggle with that and we don't know about the different things available to us. So we manage their case. If they're struggling with being able to keep the lights on, well, what other resources are out there to help them? Or do we need to help them fill out a job application, because they want to work, but they just don't know how to do that, or they don't have the means of doing that. So we get to do that. We get to help them manage their case to be successful as parents. And one of the things that I love most about our program is we call it supportive counseling. Sometimes it's nice as a parent just to have someone to vent to, right? Like, I can't believe this just happened to me. And to have someone hear that and be supportive and then help them, think of other things to try in the future. Self-care is a big buzzword in everywhere that you go, but it's really important as a parent, because if we're not taking care of ourselves as a parent, then we are not going to be in tune to what our children need. And then the last thing that we do in our parenting program is resource connection. So that kind of ties in a little bit to what I spoke to with regards to case management. So we identify those resources that are available to them. Somebody might come into us and say, I have this great apartment, but I can't afford it. Can you help me find some affordable housing? And they don't know where to even look. So it's our job to connect them to the different resources, maybe, a housing authority where they could fill out an application and get put on a list to be offered affordable housing. So that's how we try to connect them. And we not only do we connect them, but we sometimes take them to do it so they can see the process and then feel comfortable, like later down the road when they're not working with us and they stumble across hard times, that they'll remember what they learned and be able to do that on their own. We work with a lot of families who are below the 185th percent poverty level. So they're dealing with financial strains. We work with a lot of families who don't have means of transportation. And so sometimes that means that they can't get to the places that they need to get to, like a job, if they wanted to work a job, or to, if they're pregnant, to get to a prenatal appointment. So our program allows us to be able to provide transportation in those circumstances, but then also, like I said, connect them with resources that might be able to assist, with a vehicle, or purchasing them a bus pass and showing them how to be able to use that bus pass. A lot of our families don't have a lot of supports, and that's a common theme too. So not only are they dealing with not having the financial means, now they're not feeling like they have support. They don't have a mom and dad to lean back on, or a best friend or someone like that some of us have and are very thankful for. So we have to get them to think of anybody as a support. Like, we're their support right now, but like, what else could that be? Are you involved with the church? And looking at that as your church family, are there individuals at your church that you could go to, like even the pastor, or the pastor's wife, or whatever that might look like, to have them kind of, think more broadly about what support can look like for them. I use that approach of, I struggle too. You might look at me, I work at Lutheran Family and Children's Services, I'm the director, like, I should have my stuff together, right? I should be this amazing parent because I am leading the forge on having, parenting services for parents across the state. But the reality of it is parenting is hard. It's probably, if not the most difficult job anybody will ever have. And so if someone's coming to me just saying, I'm really struggling and here's what's going on, and make it relatable, share with them like, oh my goodness, I totally understand what it feels like to have your child throw a tantrum and it be very embarrassing. And maybe even try to connect with them on that particular situation. Sharing a story about myself as a parent, and when my child didn't throw himself down, at a grocery store, but we were in the middle of a restaurant, and, and saying it was embarrassing and I felt really bad, but then sharing with them, you know what, I had someone pull me aside and say, you're doing a great job. And reminding them that they're doing a great job, that these are normal struggles that everybody has. And that even if I give you all these great and wonderful suggestions, some of them are going to work, some of them are not. And you got to tailor it to what works best for you as a parent and for your child. Not all of my workers are parents, but they've had experiences working with children or babysitting or having nieces and nephews. So they know what it's like. They've got a wealth of education about the stages, the ages and stages, things that children would be experiencing at certain ages to provide that. But again, it's that rapport building. It's building trust with myself and with those families that we're serving, so they know that we're real people and that we're there to help them. I think that's the big thing, is the connection that we make with them. That is one of the things that Lutheran offers that no one else can. And I call it wraparound services. So if I'm working with a family, for example, I'm working with this mother, she found out she was pregnant and maybe wasn't planned. She's torn between, do I have the ability to parent this child? Or I've heard Heather talk about, adoption as an option. And so you provide them education about that. And if they choose to parent, obviously we just keep working with them within our parenting services. But if they say to them, I'm really considering adoption, then we connect them with the adoption program, which happens to have some of our parenting staff on as those workers. And it's just a different kind of progression in regards to services. Another thing that we encounter as parents is we might get depressed or have some anxiety about being a parent. We might have some things that we need to talk about. Well, Lutheran has an amazing behavioral health program, and we can connect them across the state with services. Sometimes it's nice to have someone else, a new set of fresh eyes, someone who can, give them that diagnosis or help them with some additional coping skills that will help them, work through that depression, that anxiety, whatever might be going on for them. I think one of the biggest misperceptions about needing parenting services is that they're a bad parent, that they only need parenting services because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the reality of it is everybody needs parenting services because it's nice to not feel alone. I know I'm going to say this till the day I die, but being a parent is hard. And sometimes we work with families where the parent is maybe a grandparent who's raising her grandchildren, or the caregiver is an aunt raising her nieces and nephews. Or maybe it's a single dad who was like, I really just have no idea what I'm doing. But to say someone's a bad parent because they need parenting services is so not true. So I think it's responsible parents who come, to receive parenting services. They realize that they're struggling, they're not perfect, and that they really want to better themselves to be better for their children. And that speaks volumes to the families that we serve. I'm a firm believer in faith. So obviously we would love prayers. Keep us in your prayers because the work we do is very difficult. But you know what? We're not opposed to donations of your time, your prayers, but also your financial, means. You might be in a position where you don't have to worry about keeping your lights on or putting food on your table. But how nice is it to know that if I donate like even $100 to Lutheran one time through the year, that can be spent on multiple families to make sure that they have diapers and formula for their babies, or even to go to the store and get groceries for a dinner. To me, I personally am an employee, but I'm also a donor here at Lutheran Family and Children's Services because I see the impact that just a simple little thing as buying me a thing of groceries, even if it was just $20 to buy something for dinner, that really eases a parent's burden. And then it helps to then show them, okay, so we have dinner. So now you don't have to worry about dinner tonight because now you're going to play with your children on the floor, or you're going to have dinner. You're going to circle up at the table and you guys are going to have dinner together and build a relationship with each other that's going to be long lasting.